Welcome to Kyoto. Today, Beary and Grandpa Bear are at Kyoto Station, eager to take a journey on the Sagano Romantic Train. First, they will take a JR train to Saga Arashiyama, then walk the short distance to Torokko Saga Station. From there, the little sightseeing train will carry them through the mountains for 3 stops to the end of the line. Hi everyone, I'm Sispy Bear and I'm doing the narration today. Beary became so excited filming his first glimpse of the train that Grandpa Bear missed their stop. They had to get off at the next station and retrace their steps. Safely back at the correct station, Beary filmed from the footbridge while Grandpa Bear filmed from the JR platform, which had a great view of the Sagano train getting ready for its first journey of the day. It was a hot day and Grandpa Bear found Beary standing suspiciously close to the ice cream shop. He refused to stop filming until he had secured a chocolate ice cream. Ice cream in hand, Beary rushed aboard the train. "These seats are just like the ones we had at Bear School when I was young," Grandpa Bear exclaimed. Beary started to wish that he had brought his favorite Chuggington cushion. The train set off and Beary began filming the Hozu River, which runs alongside the railway for much of the journey. The weather was lovely. It was a perfect day for the trip. Beary forgot to film at the first stop, but no matter, a short while later, they arrived at the second stop. Grandpa Bear jumped off and walked the short distance to JR Hozukyo Station, while Beary very bravely stayed aboard to continue filming. He was very diligent in trying to film as much as possible and not get distracted. From the JR station, Grandpa Bear filmed the Sagano train as it made its way back towards Kyoto. We made a separate video about this unusual station too. Check the description for details. Back aboard the train, Beary was having great fun waving to everyone traveling along the river in kayaks and rafts. The ticket inspector asked whether he would like to try kayaking himself, but Beary remembered that he was allergic to exercise. And now it's time for Beary's fun facts. The railway is only 7 kilometers long, but the journey takes nearly 25 minutes. This is because the train goes slowly enough for even a bear with a camera to enjoy the scenery. The track was once used by ordinary JR trains. When they moved to a faster route, the old railway was rescued and turned into the Romantic Train. Most tourists buy a return ticket, but some brave passengers travel back down the river by boat. Finally, approximately 1 million people ride the train every year. And that's all the time we have for Beary's fun facts. A short ride later, Beary arrived at the terminal station. A short walk from the station, he was very excited to see these horses carrying people for a short ride, although he's not a big fan of horses himself. He was convinced that the horse was trying to steal his ice cream. He walked a bit further and saw this little shrine with a great view of the train line. Having seen the station, he walked a short distance to the local JR station and waited for Grandpa Bear to arrive. It was a bit of a sleepy station, but finally the train pulled in and Grandpa Bear jumped off. After a short rest, they jumped on the next train to Kyoto and filmed the terminal Torokko line station from the window as they passed by. And that was the end of their short trip, but not the end of this video. A few months later, in very early spring, Grandpa Bear happened to be in Kyoto, so he swung by to get some aerial footage of the Sagano train. Grandpa Bear has just wandered in, so I'll hand over now. Bye!
Hello everyone, Grandpa Bear here. How are you all doing? Jolly good. Having got my drone up, I was a bit surprised to find out that there's nowhere for the train to turn around, so the locomotive always faces towards Kyoto. To Depending on which way it's travelling, that makes it look a bit like a subway train. Anyway, I was very keen to film the train pulling out of the station as it immediately goes over this lovely green and red bridge over this little river. Very nice indeed. I followed the train along with my drone, but I got a bit excited and ended up overshooting the train. A schoolboy error. Although the weather wasn't as nice as it had been a few months ago, these late winter leaves had a character and charm all of their own. With the train disappearing into the distance, I jumped onto my bicycle and rode as fast as I could back to Hozukyo Station. I got there just in time to film the train on its next journey. Hozukyo Station is on top of this lovely little red bridge here over the river. It's a lovely little station, although it is in the middle of nowhere. Having gone through a tunnel underneath the station, the train pops out on the other side and heads towards the next stop on the line, Torokko Hozukyo. I flew the drone as far as I possibly could to film the train arriving at the station. The drone almost went out of range. Luckily, I stopped it just in time. Anyway, we're fast approaching the end of the video. I think I'll ask Sispy Bear to do the ending. See you all next time, Bear fans.
Thanks, Grandpa Bear. We hope you've enjoyed our little video about the Sagano Romantic Train. It goes through a very beautiful part of Japan and Beary enjoyed the trip a lot, especially the ice cream. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching!